Dear Seeker, let me share with you the ways of the Kitsune. In ancient times, there were lands on which burned fires that possessed powers far beyond those of ordinary flames. These fires healed, lit the path before the people, and kept their soul flame alight, and sparked many a passionate idea to those ready to receive them. In those places, which are known now as legends, the holy fires burned and were fed and fanned by priests and priestesses whose hair, over time, became as red as the flames they lovingly attended. But the first land, the one spoken of as Mu, or Lemuria, was doomed, and the survivors fled the sinking shores in their wooden boats, and some carried the sacred flames to the other lands they found themselves within. Those who made it to the empire, known now as Atlantis, shared the holy fire's powers with those who said they could be entrusted with such divine energies. But history repeats, friends, when we are not aware of the shape things take. Only this time the event took place because the fires were misused, as were many other sacred things, and there was a great cataclysm. The sky turned gray-green. The land shook and trembled and split open, and finally those sublime lands were lost beneath waves as tall as the storm clouds. Yet the flames survived in mysterious ways, swallowed by the priests and the priestesses who traveled to many other lands. And some, those who carried the Lemurian bloodlines, who we all know are shapeshifters, transformed themselves into other beings to keep the holy fires burning, and to protect the sacred flame from being misused ever again. And some of these beings, friends, made their way to the east, where they are now known only in their form as foxes. Their origins are looked inside, or rather locked inside, memories that are deep inside the human ones. They are known now as the Kitsune, and the holy flames are called Foxfire. Its power is returning to a world ready now for an awakening. Peace and blessings and welcome, everyone. Queen Osset here, and I am excited about another deck. Of course, I'm always excited about a new deck. Anyway, this is a brand new deck put out by Lucy Cavendish, published by Blue Angel, and illustrated by Meredith Dillman. And it is the Foxfire Oracle, the Kitsune. And originally I thought it had that anime Pokemon sort of look, but as I read the guidebook, I just fell more and more in love with the energy of the cards. Of course, it's your typical Blue Angel deck, box, that size. And of course, you have your cards here. This is the back, super glossy cardstock. Of course, it's thin, and this is two cards together. Let's see. It's thin. See that? But the imagery is gorgeous. Of course, you have a good, wonderful guidebook. Good stock. Thick enough with a lot of information. Guidebook fits within the box. Unfortunately, the cards slide around in the box. I don't want to show you the imagery just yet. But maybe what they should do is make the boxes smaller. You know what? We're going to complain about everything. Maybe eventually Oracle decks would be this size. Anyway, let me go on to tell you more about this deck. So I went in and highlighted a few things, or else I would just talk and read everything in here, because the history of the Kitsune and the 9-tailed foxes and all of that is just fascinating. And Lucy Cavendish, she goes on to explain her encounter with foxes, disliking the fox hunts, I'm going to say, in Australia. Yes. She has a story. then she says something here about the shape-shifting taking place in life, the foxes, and working with the Kitsune and the deity Inari that the Kitsune are associated with. She says, "It wasn't until I visited Japan many times that I began to feel my way into a world where foxes were viewed as supernatural intermediaries with otherworldly powers and abilities, who work directly with one of the most revered and esteemed Shinto deities of this mystical land. In Japan, foxes are known as Kitsune." And she says she noticed them on her first trip on Japan, and they were just pretty much forever omnipresent, like they were everywhere that she went. Standing at the ready, always alert. She noticed different details. Some were holding a grain. Many Kitsune, they had grain in their mouth to offer Inari. She says that some had scrolls, some had round balls. And then she goes on to say that curious, she connected with them silently. She says they helped her understand that they are beings, or there are beings that are beyond the labels and definitions we humans have used as categories. She said, I thought I knew that but I did not truly understand it. So the Kitsune taught me much about moving beyond conditioned assumptions about gender and power and magic. All right. She said that she had doubts about her own worthiness and rightness of working with these energies. So I'm just finding this book full of information. She says the Kitsune care in their wily way about interacting with us. They wish to light our way with Foxfire. They yearn to connect with you, to rekindle the sacred flame within you, for you. This is their promise to you, for you are like the ancient wanderer in the forest, who has at some time been very kind for no good reason and no small inconvenience to yourself. And Kitsune have noticed this kindness, so now they have come to you with their messages and their blessings, with the rice of abundance and the ancient flame with its power to bring us back to life. They wish for you to know the wisdom and the secrets and the powers that lie within you, because they wish you to claim these gifts. Upon each card is a message from the Kitsune, or a being of the realm of the Kitsune, and these are the grains of rice that will feed your soul with golden light, with Foxfire, whose origins are ancient, until you shine once more like the bright soul you are. Oh my goodness. Inari is a mysterious deity who is sometimes called a god, other times called a goddess, and who can also take the form of a Kitsune at times. Inari is worshipped in shrines all over Japan, and the worship of the Shinto deity is ancient. Inari is a deity of grain, and as rice was once currency, Inari is worshipped for their ability to offer prosperity, good fortune, health, and wisdom. She says that I go further down where she doesn't understand how the association between the Inari and the Kitsune arose, but when she visited a shrine in central Tokyo in the downtown business district on a holiday when the streets of steel were hushed and empty, I saw foxes etherically bring grain to the small number of visitors there, and these foxes dropped the grain at each person's feet. It was up to us, I saw, whether we received the knowledge they brought and whether we ingested it, made it a part of us. The Kitsune protect the grain of Inari, and they ensure the grain will go to those who are worthy of receiving the bounty and the blessings of this remarkable shape-shifting, gender-fluid deity has to offer. So, this deck, I think it's one of those that may actually help us as we do some shadow work journeying. I think it's going to ask you, shadow work is bringing up that part that's been buried in deep within yourself. Bring it to the light so it can get the nurturing and the healing that it needs. She also talks about age brings wisdom to the Kitsune. You know, the theory is, the story is that the older the Kitsune became, the wiser, more powerful they are. And we live in a youth-centered society. I mean, just imagine, of course, you know, with age comes wisdom, supposedly. She says here, there's a tendency in our culture today to equate aging with loss, and the loss of mental faculties, physical agility, and the loss, of course, of youth and innocence. But within that loss, there is a rebirth, too, into a time of wisdom and experience. And so it is with the Kitsune, except that for Kitsune, the gifts of age are astonishing in their power. For as Kitsune age, they acquire different abilities, including the first, the ability to transform into a human. This is the way it was in ancient times in legendary places. This is the way it was in Lemuria and for a time in Atlantis and in the Avalonian lands too. So, it is said that foxes who are old and wise have the power to act as human, to seem to be human for a sustained period of time. And you know where I work, and I'm going to show you one of the statues that we have. The statue is not for sale. This is our store statue, but look at that. You know, when you walk in the front door, this guy welcomes you. This is, well, of course, several of our cats. And then we've got that guy back there. Right? Rich over, put him there. And then we have plaques like this, you know? So it's not far-fetched that they actually have human qualities or human tendencies or human aspects and such. Okay, so this deck is, I haven't worked with it yet, but it has different levels. It's, I want to say different levels. It diverse magics of the Kitsune. So it has, when a Kitsune grows older and older, they are given more tails. So within these cards, you will find, for example, the legendary nine-tailed fox. Nine tails are said to be very wise and often extremely loving and benevolent. They have powers which they can offer you and share with you, and sometimes carry a kind of magical ball in which all of their overflowing wisdom and powers are contained and stored. A little like a battery, a reservoir of pure energy, which they can draw on for energy or offer to others for energy as well. So, if they wish to vanish, they can move this ball. And of course, you know, it is said that they inspired, you know, much of the premise for the widely popular anime series Pokemon. You know, when my son was younger, it was Pokemon, 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 Pokemon Go, Pokemon, okay? And then when he got older, it became Dragon Ball Z. I don't know a whole lot about anime. Now what they do, Comic-Con and Autocon, all of those cons. Anyway, when a Kitsune has reached 1,000 years of age, they become celestial foxes. They can become a star or a moon or a voyage to other galaxies. They are heavenly and their abilities become immense. Their impact moves way beyond that of Earth, and they can influence the fate of the galaxy. This too is akin to the off-Earth origins of the Lemurians and the Atlanteans. There are so many subtle connections between these lost lands and the Kitsune. And who will you meet in the cards? You have dragons here. You do have dragons. You have sacred trees, which are the realms of the Kitsune. And you have mare beings, okay? So that our emotions can go, we can go deep within our emotions and pull up, raise up our power through that particular energy. And you have shape-shifting beings. And of course, you have the Kitsune themselves. So, we are 15 minutes in. The guidebook is fantastic. We have a couple of spreads here. Of course, you have your 3-card spread. Past, present, future. You can pull one card if you want for 1-card spread. But then we have here a 4-season spread which is interesting. For each of the seasons: spring, what is coming into my life; summer, what is growing in my life; autumn, what is leaving my life; and winter, what is dormant. And it breaks that down. And then, of course, we have a 9-tail reading, which I think is fantastic. This is a spread that may actually help with shadow work. One of the questions is my power at birth, card 2, a power I developed in childhood, a power that I grew when I became a teenager, a power I developed as an adult, a power I have yet to develop, a power I possess but I'm not aware of, a power I possess but I do not use, a power I can use to help others, and a power I will be remembered for. And we have here a Celtic cross. Again, one of these days, I guess I'll try a Celtic cross with oracle cards. Not really something that I would do. She has caring for the energy here, different incenses, of course, blessing your deck, and then, of course, we get to the card meanings. So each of the cards has a black and white image, full page, and then for each card we have a page. Wow. Like this first card, that's all the information on that card. And then the next page, you have the information like that. And of course, you know, in the back of the book, we have about the author, Lucy Cavendish, and then we have the illustrator, Meredith Dillman. Wow. She's the author and illustrator of the watercolor painting books Watercolor Made Easy, Fairies and Fantasy Fashion Art Studio, 2 fairy coloring books. She lives in Wisconsin. Oh, I might have to check into her. But look at that fox. Look at that. Now, if you go over to Arwen's channel, she did a walkthrough of this. For those of you who do tattoos, if you get this, body art, body ink, I'd love to see it. So on the back, look at that rich color. And yes, it's glossy, but either way, look at that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with the cards. So you can read the cards upright or reversed. But, you know, for the most part, we will read oracle cards upright. And you can see the fox there. It's a 45 card deck. So let's see. First card. The richness within. Then I'm going to hold them as close as I can. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Acceptance. Love the look. Tea ceremony. And I know preparing the tea and doing the ceremony is a ritual in of itself. I'm going to try the other side. I want to make sure you guys can see everything clearly. Call forth the wave. Is that the golden moment? You all can read this, because I know when it uploads, everything is, oh, look at that, rare knowledge. Is she? Of course, she's probably a shapeshifter. Oh, look at that, past lives. Gift of connection. Hope. Grace. Sunlight after darkness. Be still a while. Now we get to humanoid, fleeting beauty, dragons, the awakening, ooh, the sentinel, sleeping dragon, time to restore, another humanoid. Is this I don't know. Maybe I should put that aside, but I won't. Oh, I like this one. To dance with joy. Creation of light. Garden of night. Okay. Immortality. Are these cherry blossoms? You know, where I live, we have a cherry blossom festival. Born with a gift. The light. Make a wish. Tending the future. Empowerment. Oh. It's the fox on the back of the card. Transcendence. That looks like the galaxy behind it. Let's see, this is the back of the card. You can see that. Rituals and offerings. Willing entanglement. You know, sometimes we make the decision to step in to a situation, even though it may cause us discomfort, or we may be encouraged. Okay, yeah. Time to walk alone. I could have done without the pointy hat. Find a place to withdraw to. Leave behind what is no longer you. Lemuria, Japan, Mu, even Avalonia, but as I said, I could have done without the pointy hat. Beauty of an age, or beauty of age. Beauty of age, huh? The The noble one? Memories of the forgotten self. Sharing your wisdom. And now we have a male figure, bringer of change. That's interesting. Beneath the surface, we have a mare person. Threshold. Threefold protection. Ooh. Shadow dancer. Look closely. We see her arm and her eye. And then we have Foxfire. Interesting. Look at those eyes. I'm curious about that one. Almost done. Follow the signs. And 45. Coming of age. So I'm curious about Shadow Dancer. Let's see what else I have here. Let's see. How about tea ceremony? Let's look at that. And let's take a look. Time to walk alone. And how about that guy? That seems, I don't know. Bringer of change. I'm curious about that one. Let's see what the book says. Card number 42. I have a card number 38. I was looking at Shadow Dancer, card number 42. Bringer of change. You are not as they expected you to be, are you, dear one? They thought you would be one who was more like themselves, who would be a part of the pre-designed patterns and the wave after wave of people who keep the world traveling in the same direction. But you, friend, were different. It's not intentional, nor was it a reaction. It simply was that something new was born into the world when you were brought forth. So now you are releasing the special light and qualities that only you can bring to this planet. And you will find that there are others like you, beautiful souls who seem at times to not belong and who at times are rejected. Whoa. Okay. But this card comes to tell you that you are a part of your creation and part of your soul's journey. It has not come here to be a part of what already existed. It was to come here to change what already was. And now you are at a moment where you will show who you are, all of it, without shame or fear. You will no longer fear rejection or scorn, or even fear the disappointing, or fear disappointing those you love. You, all of you, are here to give the world something that is needed, to offer it medicine, so that we all, human, animal, winged ones, all beings, are released into the freedom to be who they came here to be. You are flying free now, and in turn you will free others. So bring to us your own unique vision and energies and experiences, and teach us how to become who we are all meant to be. Okay. Okay. I get it. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good deck for shadow work. I really do. I agree with that. Even this one, Shadow Dancer. When this card comes to you, prepare to dance with the shadow, to discover the hidden self within, who is so different from the self you have created over time. This shadow self will be a great teacher and will come to you in moments that can shake our foundations. But when we dance with the shadow, we can become closer to whole than we were once, or once were. But in order to do so, we must be prepared to explore the strangest, wildest, most avoided aspects of ourselves. In this way, though, we become travelers of the soul, stronger, authentic, with a wisdom that is born out of knowing thyself. When your work with the shadow dancer is undertaken, for it's never truly finished, you will be more whole with a truer sense of who you are here to be. Okay, well, I am going to, I think I'm going to be working with this deck as the days grow shorter. You see, I feel, as I said, this goes back to my original opinion, I do feel that this will be a great deck for shadow work, especially for those who've never done shadow work before. You know, I'm not saying that this is an easy, warm, and fuzzy sort of deck, but I don't think that your shadow work deck has to be one that's deep and full of doom and gloom. I mean, this does ask you to be truthful and yet kind to yourself, honest and yet embracing and loving. So, I'd like to hear your opinions and your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this deck. Yes, I'm in the back room of the store. I'm wrapping some things up now, and I will talk to you all later. So yes, Kitsune, Lucy Cavendish, published by Blue Angel. Artwork, fantastic artwork by Meredith Dillman. Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It does seem, it's okay. I give it a thumbs up. It is. I'm going to have to wrap my head around some of the Euro influences that are present in the deck, but that's another conversation. All in all, it's a good deck. I like the information in the book. So with that, I am complete. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.